Thank you. Thank you, Alejandro. My pleasure to welcome Ismarai.
Thank you very much. Yes, here's a presentation. So I had a very different beginning in mind. But first of all, before I get started with my presentation and while they load it, I just wanted to say thank you to Ijlal and his team, Alejandro, Pauline, Goliath for coming all the way to Pakistan and presenting their beautiful work in Lahore about intelligence. So let's give all of them a round of applause. Thank you. And they've done a great job of connecting their knowledge and making sense out of it. And from that, we can derive a different kind of intelligence and connect that. Um, so I'm going to change up my start and I'm going to connect it to Alejandro's presentation because I was going to talk about ants a little bit further on in the presentation, but because there was a beautiful presentation by Goliath about ants and their colonies, and I want to take this opportunity to talk about my exposure to. I attended a lecture for computer sciences at Manchester University, and pretty much what natural programming really was. I'm just going to skip to that slide that I was going to talk about later. It makes sense to talk about it now. Ants, right? So this is an intersection where Goliath's talk and mine kind of intersect with each other. And the conversation and the lecture that was being given at Manchester University in 2001 was natural programming. And what it really was mimicking the movement of ants forwards and backwards, left to right. So ants are a very essential part of where artificial intelligence came from because natural programming that led to the programming for artificial intelligence originated with the movement of ants, spiders as well. And rightly, as Goliath said, they are colony builders. They work together, they work in teams, they work like a hive. And where we're going in the future with artificial intelligence and humanity as a whole is somewhat of a hive mindset. Some of our working together now. So it's very interesting that it starts with natural programming, but we call it artificial programming. At the very foundation of artificial intelligence and other intelligences really is natural programming and natural intelligence. So we fast forward from there to a few years later, and what it really was if this, then that input. What really goes into the programming really is if this happens, then that will happen. And at the very foundation of this is that if the ant moves forward, then the object should give a result, and then this will happen. So fast forward to that, and then in the present day, we're looking at a much more complex model because we fed into that simple base programming the wealth of human experience that we experience, which is found on the internet and the World Wide Web. So I'm going to go back to the start of this presentation. And yeah. So to understand intelligences, we need to understand, first of all, our place in the universe, who we are as a species, and where do we come